Live from Lagos, Nigeria's commercial nerve center, this is Lunchtime Politics. I am Kelly Egiga. We're live from our studios here in Lagos. For our viewers on DSTV, we'll cross over live now to the Congress Hall of Transcorp Hilton Hotel, FCT, the nation's capital, Abuja, for a live coverage of the national public hearing on constitution alteration bills. But for other viewers around the world, we're continuing on other platforms now with the program. Here's what is coming up. Governor Fubara resumes duty today with courtesy visits in the coming hours. We're looking at images of Vice President Kashim Shettima, who arrived in New York some hours ago. He's set to deliver Nigeria's national statement at the 80th United Nations General Assembly. Many thanks indeed for staying with us here on the program. Let's get things started now. Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived in New York, United States of America, to attend the 80th week-long session of the United Nations General Assembly, which is to commence from 22nd September. That's today. Representing President Bola Tinubu at the international gathering, the president is set to deliver Nigeria's national statements at the global event, participate in UN high-level debates, and attend various side events. The Vice President arrived late on Sunday in New York. He was received by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, the charge the affairs of the permanent mission of Nigeria to the United Nations, Ambassador Samson Etegboje, the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Abubakar, and other dignitaries. We hear the Vice President also has received a briefing from the ministers and other presidential aides who are in New York for the annual gathering. And speaking afterwards, the Foreign Affairs Minister and the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment outlined some of the objectives of Nigeria's participation in New York.
We're looking at areas of our strength. We are here with some ministers and some governors. Some of the areas we're looking at has to do with soil mineral resources, which Nigeria is really doing extremely well. We're looking at other areas of investment that have to do with our economy. That's the area of agriculture. We also are looking at other areas of skill-based education in our own country, and of course, because of what will be done in our own economy, particularly some of the reforms that has to do with the removal of fuel subsidy and elimination of multiple exchange rate. That has gone further in addressing the issue of ease of doing business. So we are here ready. And of course, His Excellency the Vice President have also prepared a Nigerian position that will be delivered certainly on Wednesday by the grace of God. I'm optimistic that that will further reposition Nigeria as a leading economy in Africa.
Nigeria has a UN global convention on taxation that it is championing. It's something that is very central to the ongoing push to reform the global financial architecture. And it's something that has put Nigeria in a position of leadership. And you can see that the briefing was for His Excellency the Vice President, and there were ministers present, senior government officials. And the whole idea of having this briefing is so that we will all be on the same page. So going out, engaging, we have to make sure that we promote this. We also promote Nigeria's push to become a member of the United Nations Security Council, permanent member.
And all is to push forward the Renewed Hope agenda, is to push forward the areas that we're focusing on for investment is to push forward the reforms that the Nigerian economy has experienced in the last 2 years, and to make sure that all the friends of Nigeria in New York for this event are well versed in the position of where we are right now.
All right, you've been listening to Nigeria's delegation right there in New York for the UN General Assembly. Back home, the National Secretary of the African Democratic Congress and former Minister Rauf Aregbesola says the coalition to belong is that of the ADC. Mr. Aregbesola was speaking at the official declaration of some members of the Labour Party with the ADC right here in Lagos at Jeremy Ifedolu Federal Constituency. Thousands of Labour Party members we hear and ADC supporters came together to endorse the coalition, which also had in attendance Francis Chima and the former Labour Party governorship candidate here in Lagos, Badebo Rhodes Vival.
You know the price of egg, you know the price of Kingfisher oil, you know the price of rice, the price of gas. Now they want to tax our fuel, they want to tax our lights, they want to tax our accounts. The suffering never do. The suffering never do. And I'm so happy to come to a local government where the leader in this local government has so much love for his people. When you look around, you know that this crowd, they did not buy it. It is not rented. This is what we need in Nigeria to move Nigeria forward.
Whenever anybody talks about ideology to you, tell them that ADC is a party that God has ordained for the liberation of the people of Nigeria. Therefore, our party will remain close to the people and will always work to essentially be the vehicle for the masses, the average Nigerians, the working class people, the artisans, the poor, and all others who appreciate our cause within our society. That is the first line of the preamble of the Constitution. And that first paragraph, it closes with this: our party must be only associated with the cause of the family and family values. The Democratic Congress, as a political party, is determined to re-engineer a political party system that is free from domination by wheeler-dealer political elites. For that reason, we do not allow money banks, we do not allow wheeler-dealer political elites. And more, political culture in which all Nigerians are equal members, regardless of where they are in Nigeria, where each contributes according to his ability and where the political party belongs to one individual.
Well, former Minister Rauf Aregbesola, who is the Secretary of the ADC. We're live in Rivers State in just a moment, but the day the Rivers people have been waiting for has finally arrived. Governor Siminalayi Fubara, we hear, has resumed duties today following the completion of a 6-month suspension. On channels, TV's correspondents on ground gathered that the governor has entered into a meeting with his permanent secretaries, the banquet hall of the state government house. Also, other individuals and groups are set to pay courtesy visits to the governor. Precisely, we hear the Nigerian Port Authority, NPA, has arrived at the Executive Committee chamber and are currently waiting to meet with Governor of Rivers State, Sim Fubara, in the coming minutes. Well, the governor will be perhaps hoping to kick off from where he left off 6 months ago. All right, we'll get some perspectives in just a moment from Rivers State, but we're due for a break. When we come back, we'll take you to Edo State. The Independent Electoral Commission there has presented certificates of return to the victorious candidates of the September 20 local government by-election. That's the moment. Please stay with us. We're back. This is Lunchtime Politics Live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. I am Kelly Egiga. Let's take you to Edo State, where the Independent Electoral Commission has presented the certificate of return to the victorious candidates of the September 20 local government by-election at the Commission's headquarters in Ogba, Benin City. This marks the conclusion of the recently conducted by-election despite a High Court ex parte order restraining the state's electoral body from conducting the polls.
I present this certificate of return to you. Congratulations. On behalf of the Commission, I present this certificate of return to you. Congratulations. On behalf of the Commission, I present to you this certificate of return. Congratulations.
Thank God for these days, and I give him thanks and praise. He's the one that has ordained right from the foundation of the world. And I'm grateful to God for what has done. And I have also worked to merit this position.
To other stories now, farmers and herders in southern Kaduna have pledged to end years of hostility and embrace peaceful coexistence. The commitment was made at a rally and symposium in Kafanchan, put together by the Azofa Women and Youth Development Initiative to mark the International Day of Peace. Meantime, the Arewa Cohesion for Peace, Unity and Development Initiative has also expressed concerns over rising banditry in the north, calling on the federal government to act decisively and restore security across the region.
In a region long divided by clashes over land and resources, farmers and herders came together to celebrate the International Day of Peace. The event, organized by the Azufa Women and Youth Development Initiative, featured a peace walk, cultural displays, and dialogue sessions, highlighting progress made in southern Kaduna's peace process.
For the past years, if you can observe here in southern Kaduna, there has been a lot of conflict here and there. But with the recent development, we have seen there are changes. Some of the changes come to be in place based on the effort that the government has put in place and the activities of the NGOs.
Government have embarked on this kinetic method of conflict resolution or peace enforcement, which is not the issue. A little kinetic we need, yes, but we need dialogue. So government needs to be involved in all working together with NGOs or civil society that are promoting peace in Nigeria.
Participants shared stories of conflict and loss, but also of hope and reconciliation.
Growing up, I could not even be able to relate with my friends from other religions or from other tribes because of this issue of insecurity. At the point, it even happened in my neighborhood, whereby my neighbors were having conflict among themselves, which was affecting me psychologically.
We have relocated because of the conflicts that have started, but we are now living together because we always visit them. There is no that abuse or harassment that we was getting from them.
At the separate event, the Arewa Cohesion for Peace, Unity and Development Initiative raised alarm over escalating insecurity in the north, urging stronger federal action against banditry.
It is disturbing that at a time when Zamfara, Kaduna, Katsina, Plateau, Benue, and many other states are under siege from armed groups, our elites often find greater pride in staging flamboyant social ceremonies than in convening serious solution-driven summits to address the insecurity destroying our communities. Unless such a change in values takes place, the North risks remaining trapped in a vicious cycle of misplaced priorities and perpetual underdevelopment.
As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark the International Day of Peace, this gathering in Kaduna sends a clear message. Dialogue and understanding remains a seed that can guarantee lasting peace.
Let's take you to Kogi State, where the recent amendment and passage of the Kogi State Oil Producing Area Development Commission law by the State House of Assembly there has been described as an institutional injustice and marginalization of the oil-producing community of Ibaji local government area of that state. Addressing a joint news conference in Abuja, the president of Ibaji Progressive Youth Foundation, Comrade Kelvin Ape, advocates the need for the retention of the original Kogi State Oil Producing Area Development Commission law enacted of the 20th of December 2023.
The current arrangement reveals a troubling bias, a deliberate intention to marginalize Kogi East and by extension the Ibaji people, despite being the sole contributor to the state oil wealth. Our rights are not subject to negotiations. These are guaranteed by the Nigerian Constitution, the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, and affirmed through consistent legislative practices in other oil-producing states. The amendments signed into law on July 25, 2025 represent a legislative sleight of hand that seek to strip us of our birthright, silence our voice, and deny Ibaji people the rightful benefit of resource extractions from our ancestral land. In the light of these profound injustices and the blatant disregard to our constitutional right, we call upon the Kogi State House of Assembly to immediately and unequivocally reject the amended Kosupadek law signed on July 25, 2025. This amendment is fundamentally flawed, discriminatory, and stands in direct opposition to the principle of equitable resource development and the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution. Its rejection is essential to preserving the integrity of our legislative process and to upholding the right and dignity of Ibaji people.
Well, in Kano State, the government there has played host to the maiden Kano Civil Society Organizations Conference in Kano Metropolis with the theme Empowering CSOs in Kano for a Sustainable Future, Uniting for Active Democratic Participation and Grassroots Development. An event put together by the Ministry of Information and Internal Affairs. The event brought together the Deputy Governor and key stakeholders to deliberate on strengthening accountability and promoting good governance for all.
Civil society organizations across Kano State gathered to engage the government through the Ministry of Information at a conference themed Empowering CSOs in Kano for a Sustainable Future, Uniting for Active Democratic Participation and Grassroots Development. Deputy Governor Abdulsalam Aminu Gwarzo reaffirmed Governor Abba Yusuf's commitment to strengthening democratic governance, promoting transparency, and creating platforms for citizens' meaningful participation in decision-making.
The government is determined to ensure that the dividends of democracy reach every community. We recognize that sustainable development cannot be achieved by government alone. We therefore count on civil society organizations to partner with us in policy formulation, project monitoring, and citizens mobilization.
Kano State Commissioner for Information Ibrahim Waya expressed optimism that the civil society organizations conference will strengthen grassroots-driven development.
Government is so open and is so accountable that we are so much concerned about those that can actually add value to the administration, add value to the effort of promoting good governance in the state. And we feel these people have a stake for them to be actually involved in everything. Although it has been a practice and it has been a ritual in this administration that every bit of activity programs, policy, advocacy and things like that we've been undertaking in this government.
Organizers say the forum aims to build mutual trust and partnership between government and citizens.
This event will open an avenue for proper understanding so that the government do not always see the civil society as enemies but partners in progress.
The conference brought together NGOs, community groups, government officials, and development partners to discuss strategies for enhancing civic engagement and ensuring citizens' voices are better reflected in policy making. From Kano Commercial City, Nancy Vincent, Channels Television News.
All right, so earlier we told you on our radar today we are tracking developments in Rivers State as the governor has finally resumed officially today. And just a moment ago, we hear that the governor, after that 6 months suspension, he is on ground as we speak at the moment, with meetings ongoing at the moment with the permanent secretaries at the banquet hall of the state government house. We also hear that other individuals and groups are set to pay courtesy calls on the governor. The Nigerian Port Authority, precisely we hear, has arrived at the executive committee chamber and are currently waiting to meet with the governor, who was suspended for 6 months now. There are debates as to perhaps what played out in the events in the governor's absence. People have been calling for a prosecution or perhaps a probe of the tenure of the sole administrator, Ibogete Bas, who was in charge for about 6 months. There is also the calls for the revelation of the details of the agreement between the President Bola Tinubu, the governor of that state, Sim Fubara, as well as the FCT minister. There are those who are calling for details of that particular, or this latest agreement, I should say, because we gathered that the delay in his resumption on Thursday last week was because there were perhaps some ongoing talks between the governor and his predecessor, the FCT minister, and that's why there was that delay in his resumption. And then, of course, we know the State Assembly has now presented some requests on the first day of resumption, September 18, demanding that the governor presents his nominees for commissioners, as well as gets to present the appropriation bill as well. So this week, our eyes and ears will be in Rivers State as the governor has resumed officially, and we'll get to see how developments will unfold there. But the governor has also been quoted as saying that peace is the greatest gift. And then he also said, look, there are hard lessons learned the past 6 months, and of course, in the period of this very trying time, beginning from when he became governor and the events that led to all of the quagmire, the drama and saga between himself and his predecessor, the State Assembly, which was at some point, the structure there was burned and all of that. So much drama to unpack. Whenever Rivers State is in the news, we'll keep our eyes and ears on ground and get to see how development unfold. Yes, but I understand that we can perhaps quickly cross over live now to Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, and see if we can get to speak with the former chair of FIDA, who joins us live now, Adata Bio-Briggs, live on the program. I know that the network has not been so friendly, but if we can quickly talk to you in very few minutes. Women play a very critical role in the politics of Rivers State. I don't know if you're one of those women who were out there to receive Governor Sim Fubara. You may have to unmute your mic, please, so we can hear you clearly.
My mic is actually not muted.
Oh, go ahead.
It's not muted.
So I was wondering if you're one of the women that had to troop out to welcome the governor. And perhaps this idea of peace being the greatest gifts, as Mr. Governor has said, has peace finally returned?
Peace has finally returned. Our governor has said peace has returned. And we believe him. We will support him in this peace moves. The state is peaceful. It's been peaceful, actually. But there's a new air. If you move in Rivers State right now, people are just happy that the governor has returned. Everywhere has turned. You're seeing people smiling. People are happy, rejoicing. Oh, all you keep hearing is our governor is back. So there's peace. There's peace everywhere.
It's good to see that the people of Rivers State are smiling despite the economic reforms at the central government. But let me squeeze in many questions as I can now, because one of the concerns for many Nigerians is the fact that what exactly is the detail of this latest agreement between Mr. President Bola Tinubu and the governor and, of course, his predecessor, the FCT minister. You have an idea what could perhaps be that in the content of that agreement?
We don't have. There's no idea. Nobody knows. We're not looking into it. I don't want to look into it, and I believe a lot of us do not want to look into it.
No,
we just want to believe that our governor is back and things will work out for the good of the state.
Some stakeholders from your state are calling for the details of that agreement to be released to the public.
I remember the last time they had an agreement and it was released to the public. It caused a lot of issues. This one, we don't know what, nobody knows what's on the agreement. And we're happy that we're moving peacefully. The governor is at peace with the House of Assembly. House of Assembly is at peace with the governor.
All right.
That is what we want. Let the state move on peacefully.
Yes, we'll see how peaceful that relationship or how cordial that relationship would be between the executive and the governor and the State House of Assembly. In terms of political structure, it's a big concern in this part of our politics. People say the governor does not have the structure anymore. It's been handed over to his predecessor, the FCT minister, by the very latest elections there at the local government level. How does the governor intend to impose his leadership without a structure?
It depends on what you call structure. Local government structures, yes, we know where local government structures stand right now.
Okay, well, I'm told that we are absolutely pressed for time and we have to leave it here at this time. Unfortunately, the network took a lot of our time. But we must thank you indeed for your time on the program. Adata Bio-Briggs, the former chair of the River State chapter of FIDA. Thank you so much for your time on the program. Well, that does it for us here on the program this hour. Thank you indeed for watching. On behalf of the production team and everyone here, I am Kelly Egiga, and you have been served on Lunchtime Politics. Good afternoon.